Reading Srimad Bhagavatam 428-43. Patim Paramadharmagyam Vaidharbhi Malayadvajam Premna Paryacharatitva Bhogan Sapati Devata. Patim, a husband. Parama, supreme. Dharmagyam, knower of religious principles. Vaidarbhi, the daughter of Vidarbha. Malayadvajam, name Malayadvaja. Premna, with love and affection. Paryacharat, serve in devotion. Hitva, giving up. Bhogan, sense enjoyment. Sa, she. Pati Devata, accepting a husband as the Supreme Lord. The daughter of King Vidarbha accepted her husband all in all as the Supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and in complete renunciation followed the principles of her husband who was so advanced. Thus she remained engaged in his service. Please respond. The daughter of King Vidarbha accepted her husband all in all as the Supreme. She gave up all sensual enjoyment and in complete renunciation followed the principles of her husband who was so advanced. Thus, she remained engaged in his service. Purport by Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Figuratively, King Malayadvaja is the spiritual master and his wife. Vidarbhi is his disciple. The disciple accepts the spiritual master as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Guru Vastaka Shakshat Dharitvena. One directly accepts the Guru, the spiritual master, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should accept the spiritual master not in the sense that the Mayavad philosophers do, but in the way recommended here. Since the spiritual master is the most confidential servant of the Lord, he should be treated exactly like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The spiritual master should never be neglected or disobeyed like an ordinary person. If a woman is fortunate enough to be a wife of a pure devotee, she can serve her husband without any desire for sense gratification. If she remains engaged in the service of an exalted husband, she will automatically attain the spiritual perfection of her husband. If a disciple gets a bona fide spiritual master, simply by satisfying him, he can attain a similar opportunity to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnanam Jnana Shalakaya Chakshunam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamam Dadati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sakajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Shadvitam Shabadutam Parijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhanu Shuta Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namaram Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavari Paschatya Desadarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you again joining in our Srimad Bhagavatam class. Continuing from reading yesterday. So today you see how the disciple has to serve the spiritual master. This is a very important point because this has become very much obsolete nowadays. I would use the word obsolete because there is no more submissive attitudes now. Everywhere it is chaotic. Because of the false ego, nobody wants to surrender. Is it not? Nobody is surrendering. In Kali Yuga, there is no more wife is not surrendering, children are not submissive, disciples, there is no more such word as disciple. Yes? So you see, everything has become. And if the teacher corrects the children or the disciple, immediately the disciple says, okay, I am going home. You know? That is, everything has become very messed up. So, but you can see here the system. Here she is showing, of course, the husband is the guru for the wife, most cases. Because the husband also has to be qualified. If the husband is fallen, then the wife has no more obligation to serve such a fallen person. Just like if you take shelter of a guru and he is fallen, would you serve him? Would you serve such a guru? You won't. Similarly, the wife, she has to serve someone who is not fallen. It doesn't mean that even if the husband is fallen, the wife is obligated, you know. That's not the point. So therefore, the system is that submissive surrender is very important. That is exhibited by Krishna himself. He says in this famous verse, Here, the word tadvidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadeksyanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. So the word here, pariprasnena and sevaya, you see this? So Krishna himself is stressing this point of submissive inquiry and seva. You have to learn how to serve. Do you understand? So spiritual master means submissive, first is surrender. Pranipatena means surrender. And then pariprasnena means submissive inquiry. And then you must do seva. Three things are there. You understand? Then spiritual master. If a spiritual master, you treat him like a friend, then it doesn't work. See? What is that verse? Sadimam prapanam. 2 what?
7.
2:11.
7.
So here in this verse, Karpanya doshapahat swabhavah prachami tvam dharma sambuddha setah ya shreyasyan nishchitam pruhitam me sishyasteham sadimam tvam prapanam. So here this word sishyastaham sadimam, this word here, Shishya, disciple, I am. Sadi, just instruct. Actually the word sadi means also you order me. In Sanskrit, sadi means what? You don't not just instruct, you order me. And you see the word here, prapanam, surrender. So you cannot instruct someone who don't surrender. That's not possible. Yes? See? Now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. You please instruct me. So that means Arjuna has given up his role as a friend. There is no more friendly talk. I am now your disciple. Sishya means what? Disciple. So you order me what is best for me. I am confused. Because now we all are in this confused stage. Materially and spiritually we are confused. Yes? Confusion means that we have a lot of doubts. Correct? So materially, when you try to enjoy Maya, you will only become bewildered and you full of doubts. Understand? This is due to false ego. Yeah? Yes? You should consider how, by the influence of my illusory energy, these three states of mind caused by the modes of nature have artificially imagined to exist in me. Having definitely ascertained the truth of the soul, you should utilize the sharpened sword of knowledge acquired by logical reflection and from the instruction of sages and Vedic literature to completely cut off the false ego, which is the breeding ground of all doubts. All of you should then worship me who am situated within the heart. So the point is that false ego, which is the breeding grounds of all doubt, and can only cut that by surrendering to the spiritual master who is going to give the knowledge and instruction of sages and Vedic literature. Correct? Jevere Kripaya Khaila Krishna Veda Puran. See, they said Veda Puran. Understand? So we want to come out of this mess. The Guru is most important. That we must understand. We cannot try to do this with our own strength. That's not possible. I mean, if you're trying to do with your own strength, why you are confused? Does it make any logical sense? If you are clear with all your so-called knowledge, you should not be confused. Correct? Yes or no? No.
Yes.
Huh? I don't know, I'm talking and everybody is looking at their machine. I don't know what kind of class I'm doing here. I am talking to you and you're looking at all your so-called things. Then what class is this? No need class, no? We put down everybody. Yeah? Yes or no? Why? What am I doing? Wasting my time? No? Yes? Correct? Yes or no? A closed class, no, you do your thing. You can learn from your machine, why? Yes? So I am speaking, at least have some courtesy now. Correct? Yes? So therefore we need to understand that we cannot come out of this mess by our own. Not possible. Where does it say that you cannot come out by your own strength? I have quoted this verse 1,000,000 times. Not the Pandits. I want to ask the others. Because I am giving a class, only the Pandits know. Others all. And then when I ask where is the soul, what's the size? I don't know. Where is this thing that you cannot come out of Maya by your own strength? There's two places. One in the Bhagavatam and one in the CC. I have quoted it 1,000,000 times. Now you tell me where is it? That you are in Maya and you cannot come out. Don't know, say don't know. Then okay, I can help you. But don't keep saying I don't know all the time. Right? Where it says that you cannot come out of Maya by your own self. Huh? Where? Where it says? Huh? Come on. Where? Madhya? 7:5:30. The one the soul don't know, that is 7 of Krishna. Not that one.
11:22:10, 21:22.
Okay, so you remember this, remember, please remember. Million times I have quoted this, millions of times, okay? There is Sanskrit. Anadi avidya yuktasya purushasyatma vedanam svato na sambhavad anjas tatogyo jnana do bhavet. Because a person who has been covered by ignorance since time immemorial is not capable of effecting his own self-realization, there must be some other personality who is in factual knowledge of the absolute truth and can impart this knowledge to him. Is it clear? Remember? Can you remember? Okay, the another place. This is spoken in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I think, eh? Prabhupada quote this many times. Maya Mugdha Jevere Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan. See, Maya Mugdha Jevere Nahi Swata Krishna Gyan. Jevere Kripa Koila Krishna Veda Puran. Listen. The conditioned soul cannot, the conditioned soul again cannot revive his Krishna consciousness by his own effort. Yeah? Remember this, no? Can you please take note? Huh? But out of causeless mercy, Lord Krishna compiled the Vedic literature and his supplement, the Puran. Only by learning, knowledge, you follow? So here Arjuna is saying, Shreya, Uttamam, tell me what is the best thing for me. To get this best thing, you cannot understand this by your own effort. See here. Tasmat Gurun Prapadyeta. Understand? This is very easy Sanskrit. Tasmat Guru Prapadyeta. Jikyasu Shreya Uttamam. Again, Shreya and Praya, two words. Praya is temporary relief, Shreya is ultimate relief. Sabde Parecha Nisnantam Brahmani Upasrama Ashrayam. So you tell me this. Therefore, any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master and take shelter of him by initiation. Why initiation? What is the meaning of initiation? What is the meaning of initiation? That means you cannot disobey, no? Finish. There is no more independence. When you take initiation means what? Independent. Allah, Guru, please let him fly his kites, Can? What? Can? Guru say you fly the kite, you go and do yourself. Can? So the qualification of the bona fide Guru is that he has realized the conclusion of the scriptures by deliberation and is able to convince others of this conclusion. Such great personalities who have taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, leaving aside all material considerations, should be understood to be bona fide spiritual master. Of course, this is the qualification of the Guru, that's another thing. Now we're talking about the disciple today. You understand? So a disciple has got no independence. Sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the command of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, "Yes, sir." That's why we are not getting many people here. Why not many coming? They don't like our language, They don't like this kind of talk, surrender, this guy full of false ego, rubbish character, he's talking like that. Understand? I've got many complaints for me. You go out and you put the book table there, you see how many guys complain. This is my trademark. Sundagopa is a rascal. Why? Because we're telling you to do something on authority. Unless you're more senior than me, then I will listen to you. Correct? If you are junior, what do you have to do? Right? Or you start the movement and I also will follow you. Nothing you can do. If we order you, it's too much. You understand? What the complaint? No, you don't know. He's such a bad. Why is he so bad? No, you don't know. What is it? No, he's asking everyone to wake up for Mangala Arati. That was my call. No, but that's in the teaching. Yeah, you don't know. You just see. You understand? That's why here it says order. Yeah, Prabhupada is saying in the purport. The two words in this verse are very important. One word is Pitari, another word is Guru. The son or disciple should accept the words of the spiritual master and father without hesitation. Whatever the father and spiritual master order should be taken without argument. This goes on even when you read Prabhupada books. When you read Prabhupada books, you cannot opine it. This is a big problem when you read. Why people not making advancement? Because they read and they opinionate it. You understand what I'm saying? If there is no opinionation, what? You read and accept it as it is. And if you don't understand, you come and clear. But not that you opinionate, Prabhupada is meaning like this, no? Then you become a commentary on the Acharya. Correct? That's dangerous. That's what? Dangerous. I'll come to that point, okay? Yes, there should be no instant which the disciple, the son say, this is not correct, I cannot carry it out. When he says that, he is fallen. See this point? If he disobey, he is finished. This is exactly what's happening in the society now. Why we are different from so-called ISKCON? Prabhupada has put the Ritvik system of initiation, they disobey. So when you disobey, you can play the big drum and do all kind of things, but you have disobeyed. So when you disobey, everything has become useless. Yes? Right? The father and spiritual master on the same platform, because when you speak about the father who is doing some spiritual life, not some father or somebody who's just a namesake father. That's not the case here. Right? The higher is the second father, spiritual master is the second father. The higher classes are called Devija, twice more. Whenever there is a question of birth, there must be father. The first birth is made possible by actual father, and second birth is made possible by the spiritual master. Sometimes the father and spiritual master may be the same man, sometimes they are different. In any case, the order of the spiritual master must be carried out without hesitation, with an immediate yes. There should be no argument. That is real service to the father and to the spiritual master. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has stated that the order of the spiritual master is the life and soul of the disciple. As a man cannot separate his life from his body, a disciple cannot separate the order of the spiritual master from his life. If a disciple follows the instruction of the spiritual master in that way, he is sure to become perfect. This is confirmed in the Upanishad. The import of the Vedic instruction is revealed automatically only to one who has implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the spiritual master. One may be materially considered an illiterate man, but if he has faith in the spiritual master as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the meaning of scriptural revelation is immediately manifested before him. But this is the program. If you have this kind of implicit faith, then the Shastra, even you are illiterate, the Shastras are automatically revealed to you. So the Shastra is not something you buy a book and read like a parrot, this is not going to work. It has to be what? Secret has to be what? Revealed. That is also explained by Krishna. Which verse is that? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, we do not you, others. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said this thing must be revealed to you. Where? Huh? Don't know. Are you reading the Bhagavad Gita? No? How many of you are reading Bhagavad Gita? How many not reading nothing? That's better. Everybody. Huh? So I asked this question, no answer. I asked that question, also no answer. What is going on? No, don't ask question, Prabhu. Okay, I'll just speak and go back. Is that what I should do? Huh? Must read the book. If you don't read, how are you going to get this knowledge? Yes? Not only chasing after money, day and night. Money. Yes? Yes? Correct? No interest in getting some knowledge. Yes? Okay, anyway, you please take note. Remember this. Huh? Please remember, this is Bhagavad Gita, very easy. Sa evyam mayate. Bhagavad Gita chapter, what the text not coming out? Text 4, chapter 4, text 3. Huh? Sa evyam mayate dhyab yoga prokta puratana. These two lines. Bhakto si me shakha cheti rahasyam ya etat uttamam. Conditions of how you can get this rahasya. This is what? I'm sure you understand. You all, Huh? Rahasya means what? Secret. Secret can only what? Can you get secret from gunpoint or how secret is revealed? How? Voluntarily. Yes. And condition. What is that? Because you are my devotee and because you are my friend. Therefore, you can then get this secret. Why Krishna used the word rahasyam? This is simple knowledge. You are not the body, your soul, you this, that. A very big secret. Huh? Yeah? But realization cannot come by book reading. It has to be what? Revealed. It has to be what? Revealed. That's why Krishna said, therefore, because you are my devotee and friend, you can get these secrets. There's a qualification to become Krishna's devotee and friend. Now again, in this verse again, the incident herein described are very significant. In previous verse it stated, Vina Mahapada Rajabhishekam. One cannot attain perfection without smearing the dust of the lotus feet of the exalted devotee on his head. If one, that's what we do, come here and what we touch the feet of the Guru, right? What we do? What we do? We touch the feet of the exalted and we put on the head. Yes? Why? If one always, see, we must smear the dust of the lotus feet of an exalted devotee on the head. The three things are important from the devotee. One is the dust, one is the water, and the other one is the prasadam. That one you Prasadam doesn't mean what? The remnant left behind, you understand? After the spiritual master eaten, we take the, not that we take the plate, Everybody is rushing to take the plate. What was the use of the plate? Huh? What? The remnants, correct? Does he say here, take the plate? Huh? Remnants. You follow. If one always follow the order of the spiritual master, there is no question of falling down. If one always follows the order of the spiritual master, there is no question of falling down. As soon as a foolish disciple tries to overtake his spiritual master and become ambitious to occupy his post, he immediately falls down. Finish. Tomorrow you sitting here, and Prabhupada is sitting somewhere else. What happened to this temple? No, from now on it's me. Huh? Understand? Correct? It cannot even cross our mind. Understand? It cannot. There is no political what? Coup d'etat. No such thing. Absolute surrender. Finish. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasada yasya aprasada nagatir kutopi. Yasya prasada, by the mercy of the spiritual master, you get Krishna. But yasya aprasada, you don't get his mercy, nagatir, no gati, you say, I think the word is there, in your language, nagatir, nagati means nowhere to go, finish. If the spiritual master is considered an ordinary man, the disciple surely loses his chance to advance further. This is a very important point. We cannot at any time, any moment, think that the spiritual master is what? Ordinary person. Despite a very rigid life in devotional service, Bharat Maharaj did not consult a spiritual master when he became overly attached to a deer. Consequently, he became strongly attached to the deer, and forgetting his routine, spiritual routine, he fell down. So this verse, always this other group, they quote this, Everybody fall down. Bharat Maharaj is such a top devotee, he fell down. Because these gurus are falling down, so they are using this example. Correct? But here Prabhupada is clarifying it. Because he did not consult. Even if you are advanced, it doesn't mean that you are advanced, you don't need guru. There's a verse. Even you are advanced, you must always keep association of the devotees. At no point you think you can be independent. That doesn't work. You follow? So, right now we have covered this point. Again, Prabhupada said in another place. Here again Prabhupada is saying this point. The word Guru Prasada indicates that the spiritual master is very merciful in bestowing the boon of devotional service upon the disciple. That is the best possible gift the spiritual master has to offer. Those with the background of pious life are eligible to receive life's supreme benefit, and to bestow this benefit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead sends His representative to impart His mercy. Endowed with the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master distributes the mercy to those who are elevated and pious. Thus, the spiritual master trains the disciple to render devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Guru Kripa. It is Krishna Prasadam, Krishna's mercy, that He sends a bona fide spiritual master to the deserving disciple. By the mercy of Krishna, one meets the bona fide spiritual master, and by the mercy of the spiritual master, the disciple is fully trained in devotional service to the Lord. Bhakti Lata Bija means the seed of devotional service. Everything has an original cause or seed. For any idea, program, plan or device, there is first of all the contemplation of the plan, and then that is called the bija or seed. The methods, rules and regulations by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhakti Lata Bij or seed of devotional service. The Bhakti Lata Bij is received from the spiritual master by the grace of Krishna. Other seeds called Anya Bilasa Bija include Karma Bij and Jnana Bij. If one is not fortunate enough to receive the Bhakti Lata Bij from the spiritual master, but instead cultivate such seed as Karma Bij or Jnana Bij or political, social or philanthropic Bijas, however, the Bhakti Lata Bij is different from these other Bijas. The Bhakti Lata Bij can be received only through the mercy of the spiritual master. Therefore, one has to satisfy the spiritual master to get the Bhakti Lata Bij. Yasya Prasada, Bhagavad Prasada again. The Bhakti Lata Bij is the origin of devotional service. Unless one satisfies the spiritual master, he gets the bija or root cause of karma, jnana and yoga without the benefit of devotional service. But one who is faithful to his spiritual master gets the Bhakti Lata Bij. This Bhakti Lata Bij is received when one is initiated by a bona fide spiritual master. Only when you are initiated. Again, some people are saying, no. Prabhupada, you read Prabhupada books, you are initiated already. You understand? If you go to Prabhupada and say, I am your disciple, you are initiated already. Does it make sense? There have some people are saying like this. Why? They don't. If you don't get initiated, will you surrender? Will you surrender? Yeah. You understand? It says here. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat the instruction. See again. After receiving the spiritual master's mercy, one must repeat. Not what? Invent. No, I know better. I will give a better example than Prabhupada. Many people are like that. They think, oh, no, I will explain in such a way that the person will understand it thoroughly. This is all nonsense. It says here, you must what? Repeat his instruction. And this is called Shravana Kirtan, hearing and chanting. One who has not properly heard from the spiritual master or who does not follow the regulated principle is not fit for chanting Kirtan. If you don't follow this process, you are not fit. You are not what? For chanting Kirtan, not fit. That's why we just don't let anybody to come here and do any kind of thing. We don't do. Why? We allow? No, Prabhu, this guy is a good singer, Prabhu. Let him, What? No. One time I got into trouble actually. I'm always getting into trouble anyways. This lady was a big singer, in that whole ISKCON. She's, I don't know her name. He happened to come to Singapore and said, look, I want to sing. I said, I'm sorry, I don't let nobody singing. I don't know who you are anyway. Why should I let you? And then she went to, of course, that time I was in ISKCON, when I make a big complaint, Singapore, and she is one of the top singers. But our principle is this, we don't let you. We won't allow you. And this is justifying. Prabhupada saying here, you cannot just let anybody and everybody do anything and everything you like. That's rubbish. You understand? We have control. Unless one has properly heard from the spiritual master or does not follow the regular, is not fit for chanting Kirtan. Period. Yes? Isn't it? That's the point. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Vyavatsyatmika buddhihi ekaha guru nandana. One who has not listened carefully to the instruction of the spiritual master is unfit for chanting or preaching the cult of devotional service. Period. One who has not listened carefully to the instruction of the spiritual master is unfit. It's not just listening, carefully listening. Or for preaching the cult of devotional service. That means you cannot even preach also, wasting time. It's written here. Yes, one has to water the Bhakti Lata beach by receiving instruction from the spiritual master. You understand? These are all conditions that we have to meet. First thing is that we have to what? Surrender. Correct? Surrendering means what? Some say, no, I only surrender to Prabhupada. I don't care for anybody else. Again, another problem. Many of them are Shiksha Gurus. I've quoted that verse, correct? Where was that? There's no difference between the Shiksha Guru and the Diksha Gurus. Some people say, no, I will surrender only to Prabhupada. I don't care for anybody else. I explained that. I think it is in 12. No, 130. Got it. I think it's 134. Gurum is plural in number because anyone who gives spiritual instruction based on the revealed scriptures is accepted as spiritual master. Although others give help in showing the way to the beginners, the Guru who first initiates one with the Maha Mantra is known as the initiator. And the saints who give instruction for progressive advancement in Krishna consciousness also are called instructing spiritual master. The initiating and instructing spiritual master are equal and identical manifestation of Krishna. See that? Although they have different dealings, their function is to guide the conditioned soul back home, back to Godhead. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami accepted Nityananda Prabhu and the six Goswami in the category of Guru. So you see, they are on the same point. I think I read another verse where it says someone who kind of disregards, he is considered as committing a big offense. I read that verse 34, 35. Let me see 33. I have to look for that. Okay, anyway. So here it says there's no difference between the Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So Diksha Gurus, of course, is Prabhupada, but there are many instructing spiritual masters, and we should also learn how to respect them. Alright? So now we have understood now that the spiritual master's authority is the mainstay in our life. We cannot at any time think that the spiritual master or the initiating or the instructing as ordinary personalities. This attitude has to become our stay, our consciousness. This is said everywhere. how we should, live with the spiritual master. One must accept the bona fide spiritual master and render service unto him with great devotion and faith. Whatever one has in one's possession should be offered to the spiritual master. And the association of saintly person and devotees, one should worship the Lord, hear the glories of the Lord with faith, glorify the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord, always meditate on the Lord's lotus feet, and worship the deity of the Lord strictly according to the instruction of the Shastra. See, it's an important point here. That one should give everything to the spiritual master. Yeah. One should know that Acharya is myself and never disrespect him in any way. One should not envy him, thinking him an ordinary man, for he is the representative of all the demigods. This is spoken by Krishna himself. Right? In the morning and evening, one should collect foodstuff and other articles and deliver them to the spiritual master. Then, being self-control, one should accept for oneself that which is allotted by the Acharya. So Prabhupada always gave this example, that they go out and back from morning to night and they bring back in the food, and while the food is being cooked or what, if the spiritual master don't call the disciple to eat, he cannot go and eat by himself. That is his injunction. You understand? If you go and eat by yourself, then consider as, if the spiritual master forget to call you for food, you must fast that day. I mean, you see how strict this thing is. Yeah? The whole idea is to develop humility, humbleness. While engaged in serving the spiritual master, one should remain as a humble servant, and thus when the Guru is walking, the servant should humbly walk behind. And when the Guru lies down to sleep, the servant should also lie down nearby. And when the Guru is awakened, the servant should sit near him, massage his lotus feet and rendering other similar service. And when the Guru is sitting down in his asana, the servant should stand nearby with folded hand, awaiting the Guru's order. In this way, one should always worship the spiritual master. See these guidelines? Right? See how we have to act. Until the student has completed his Vedic education, he should remain engaged in the ashram of the spiritual master, he should remain completely free of material sense gratification, and should not break his vow of celibacy, brahmacharya. So these are all strict guidelines on how to behave in the Guru's ashram. Same point. The spiritual master should be considered to be directly the Supreme Lord, because he gives transcendental knowledge for enlightenment. Consequently, for one who maintains the material conception that the spiritual master is an ordinary human being, everything is frustrated. His enlightenment, his Vedic studies and knowledge are all like bathing of an elephant. If you don't accept this, then everything is, you understand, it cannot work. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the master of all other living entities and of the material nature. His lotus feet are sought and worshipped by a great saintly person like Vyasa. Nonetheless, they are fools who consider Lord Krishna as an ordinary human being. The spiritual master is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore one who is very serious about spiritual advancement must regard the spiritual master in this way. Even a slight deviation from this understanding can create disaster in the disciples, Vedic study and austerities. That just a slight deviation will create disaster. Yeah? Some of the disciples strictly accepted the order of the acharyas and others deviated, independently concocting their own opinion under the spell of Devi Maya. This verse describes the beginning of a scheme. When disciples do not stick to the principle of accepting the order of their spiritual master, immediately there are two opinions. Any opinion different from the opinion of the spiritual master is useless. One cannot infiltrate materially concocted ideas into spiritual advancement. That is deviation. There is no scope for adjusting spiritual advancement to material ideas. The moment you disobey, there is another opinion. The order of the spiritual master is the active principle in spiritual life. Anyone who disobeys the order of the spiritual master immediately becomes useless. Here is the opinion of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj. Person who strictly follow the order of the spiritual master are useful in executing the will of the Supreme, whereas the person who deviate from the strict order of the spiritual master are useless. Yeah? So, okay, let's get to understand a little bit more. So we're going to read a little bit about how Krishna, he acted in this Guru's ashram. So we'll read a little bit here. Krishna is talking to Sudama. My dear Brahmana, do you remember how we lived together in our spiritual master school? When a twice born student has learned from his Guru all that to be learned, he can enjoy spiritual life which lies beyond all ignorance. My dear friend, he who gives a person his physical birth is his first spiritual master. That is the father. He who initiates him as a twice born Brahmana and engage him in religious duties indeed more directly his spiritual master. But the person who bestows transcendental knowledge upon the members of all the spiritual order of society is one's ultimate spiritual master. Indeed, is as good as my own self. You understand this point? They quote this, The other group, they quote this stuff. But here it's very clear. One who gives you knowledge is the simply put a thread. So many of you are Brahmins here, put on a thread. What are you doing? I don't know. Yes. Yes. The one who gives you the knowledge. Certainly, O Brahmana, of all the followers of the Varnashram system, those who take advantage of the words I speak in my form as the spiritual master and thus easily cross over the ocean of material existence, best understand their own true welfare. You understand? That means the one who knows the knowledge. I, the soul of all beings, am not as satisfied by ritual worship, Brahminical initiation, penance or self-discipline, as I am by faithfully service rendered to one spiritual master. Krishna is speaking here. Faithfully service rendered to one's spiritual master. O Brahmana, do you remember what happened to us while we were living with our spiritual master? Once, our Guru's wife sent us to fetch firewood, and after we entered the vast forest, O twice born one, an unseasonal storm arose with fierce wind and rain and harsh thunder. Then as the sun set, the forest was covered by darkness in every direction, and with all the flooding we could not distinguish high land from low. Krishna, he don't know. I think he swallowed the forest fire, he did so many things. Correct? Huh? You think he cannot come out of this small thing? Yes? And just before this Leela, he swallowed what? Forest fire, he killed so many demons, and here he is stuck in the forest, high land, no land, water flooding. You think he don't know? Constantly besieged by the powerful wind and rain, we lost our way amidst the flooding waters. We simply held each other's hand and in great distress wandered aimlessly about the forest. You think Krishna don't know why he is doing this thing? To tell us, how to serve the spiritual master. O Guru Sandipani, our Guru Sandipani, understanding our predicament, set out after sunrise to search for us, his disciples, and found us in distress. O my children, Sandipani said, you have suffered so much for my sake. The body is most dear to every living creature, but you are so dedicated to me that you completely disregard your own comfort. This is what Krishna is. Because if we have figured out how to come out and all that, then there will be no justification for this statement. Yes? You understand? So to win the Guru's heart, one must give one's life and soul. You understand? Sacrificing our comfort. No, I won't surrender. No, why surrender? Then who will? I've got big plans, Prabhu. Huh? Huh? Understand? So if you want to surrender, means no plans. Only one plan, to satisfy the. Understand? Because big plans means then how to surrender. Yes, see, it's the point Krishna is making. How we should dedicate our life for the satisfaction of the. Understand? This is indeed the duty of all true disciples, to repay the debt of the spiritual master by offering him with pure hearts their wealth and even their very lives. And I mean, see the example of how Krishna surrendered. You boys are the best of the twice born. I am satisfied with you. May all your desires be fulfilled. May the Vedic mantras you have learned never lose their meaning for you in this world nor the next. This is the blessing. That's why whatever Krishna, of course Krishna say everything is always afresh, but this is because it's a blessing of his. You read Bhagavad Gita, you read anything, it's always what? I mean, which is the oldest book in the world? And the most popular.
Sometimes when the devotees they disobey the order, then that same fresh thing will become stale. Like one of the gurus said, the holy name has become dry.
Yeah.
They lost taste because they've gone against the order of the.
There's a verse for that also. The moment you disobey, then you cannot understand. You understand? The moment 10, 87, 39. 39. Understand? Let's come back to this. Let's go there. I will come back. Unfortunately, we know little scripture. I mean, yes, when I was 45 years ago, I would be bewildered. You understand? You tell me this thing, I mean, I was bewildered. At that time, I have to admit, I was bewildered. But now, you tell me, you understand? I don't think you can pull my legs again. That's not possible. Understand? Members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last trace of material desire in their heart remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you. That means they what? Krishna cover again their brains. And not only that, although you are present within their hearts, as we read so many verses, correct? There are two birds sitting in the heart. How many places? Yes. I just discovered another one, two swans, This chapter, you go down a little bit, there will be two swans. The Brahmana, Krishna comes as the Brahmana and says, we are like, I will show you the verse, I will just show you. You do not allow them to understand you, although you are present within their heart. For them you are like a jewel worn around the neck of a man who has totally forgotten it is there. Oh Lord, those who practice yoga only for sense gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and next, and from death you will not release them. And from you, whose kingdom they cannot reach. Looks like everything is, yeah, he can get perfect knowledge. He loses his spiritual what? Qualities. So many places it is said, when you embrace Maya, you lose all your spiritual quality. There is no question of you getting any strength if you go into Maya. That's out of the question. Right? So, you have, so Krishna is, see how, he is, of course is God, Understand? Similarly, if you also follow a proper bona fide spiritual master, then whatever you learn will also not be lost. In fact, there's a verse, everything Krishna make it fresh. Krishna actually on the contrary makes it very fresh. Always engaging in the activities of devotional service, devotees feel ever increasing fresh. Does he say he becomes staled out? And new. And what? in all their activities, not only just talking, everything he becomes what? Enthusiastic, inspired. Either it's cooking or cleaning or anything. He is always what? Fresh, and everything is new. Right? In all their activities, the all-knower super soul within the heart of the devotee makes everything increasingly fresh. You understand this? This is known as the Brahman position by the advocates of absolute truth. In such a liberated stage, Brahma Bhuta, one is never bewildered, nor does one lament or become unnecessarily jubilant. This is due to the Brahma Bhuta situation. That means once you come to the spiritual position, there is no more question of getting into any kind of a what? Maya. That's out of it. Maya cannot touch him. Finish. You understand? That's the position. Not that, oh, I am dried out. What? I am emotionally, I didn't fulfill my emotional what? All kind of nonsense philosophy. You understand? This is how they bewilder. That's why little knowledge is dangerous. Huh? You understand? You have to know that what kind of nonsense is this. Huh? One person said, why is he's such a big guru, why is he not chanting? They asked the guru, why you are not chanting? So what did you tell them? I don't know, that's why I am asking you. You should say that I am now in the highest advanced order, therefore I don't need to chant. Wow, such an answer. Huh? See, valid, right? What do you think? Valid? No? Why not? Why not? Huh? See, you don't know. Correct? Why not? The question, why? Somebody is so elevated, so-called elevated, and he is saying something like this. So, I am in a highly advanced position, I don't need to chant anymore. I will eat, but eating can? If you are elevated, you shouldn't eat also, correct? Right? Why eating can? Chanting cannot. Huh? Why? Correct? Eating how? Wow, from that corner to that corner. Ever increasing.
Fresh. Ever increasingly fresh.
Huh? You see that? I think it's 18, huh? Yeah, correct. Yeah. Chantir avyakta kalatvam virakti mana sunyata asha bandha samutkanta name gane sada ruchi. This word. Name gane sada ruchi. What does this mean?
Chanting of taste the name.
Huh?
Taste the name by chanting.
Taste the name by chanting. It means that he is always in ecstasy, chanting all the time. Understand? Look here, the translation. A taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. A taste for chanting means what? He is constantly chanting. Correct? But this guy is saying, no, I am in the highest level, so I don't need to chant anymore. And these are symptoms of a person who has, these are visible in a person whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. Beginning. And our friend is, and he said, I don't need to do anymore. Malaysia. Prabhu? He's coming from Malaysia, this man. Of course, he's all over the world, but it's. Can you imagine? If you don't know, what you will think? Oh, that means I become advanced, I don't need to chant, I don't need to sleep, I don't need to. So, yeah. Now I work hard, 16 rounds. After I have some years, I can hang my bead bag. Huh? Yes, this is nonsense. You understand? This is nonsense. So we should know. That's why knowledge is very important. All right, now go back to the. Lord Krishna continued, we had many similar experiences while living in our spiritual master home. Simply by the grace of the spiritual master, a person can fulfill life's purpose and attain eternal peace. So this is the secret. That's now we read the word. Tasmat Guru Prapadye. Anyone want any happiness, real happiness, he must surrender to the bona fide spiritual master. Krishna is also saying, simply by the grace of the spiritual master, a person can fulfill life purpose and attain eternal peace. Yes? Brahmana said, what could I possibly have failed to achieve, O Lord of the Lords, O universal teacher, since I was able to personally live with you, whose every desire is fulfilled at the home of our spiritual master. Of course, Sudama has been humble, big. What I could not get because I am with you, my Lord. O Almighty Lord, your body comprises the absolute truth in the form of the Vedas and thus the source of all auspicious goals of life. That you took up residence at the school of the spiritual master is simply one of your pastimes in which you play the role of a human being. So this is today example how the wife serves the spiritual master. Because I don't know which wife is doing that nowadays. Because anyway, the husband is also 6:30. The wife is 6:15. And the children have no 6. This is the whole program. Yes? So what do you get? Complete nonsense. You follow? So we have to learn this knowledge, how to apply. Then yes, success. Bona fide spiritual master here, correct? Yes? Bona fide devotees are here? No, the bona fide devotees are not here. Because why? They are not listening to me. No? You come into the temple and they must listen to you. Yes? Yes? This is called bona fide disciple. Yes? You follow? So we have to take advantage. We have to take the bona fide spiritual master. And there's a verse. Where is the verse? There is favorable wind. 11:9. 11:9:29. No, not this one, the other one. 11 what? 27? No, cannot be in 27. 27 is dative. 20, huh?
20.17.
Yes. Nirdevam. Yeah, this verse. Remember this, Nirdeha madhyam sulabam sudurlabam plavam sukapam guru karna dharam mayanukulena naba swatireritam Puman bhavadimna taretsa atmaha. The human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature. Although it is very rare achievement, this human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master, the captain, and the instruction of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all this advantage, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. So this is the basis. We have to take advantage of human birth, which is rare to obtain, and we have got the perfect spiritual master, yes, and I think today you are hearing not perfect knowledge. Huh? What? So knowledge is perfect, yes, spiritual master is perfect, you got a human birth, right? So all this if you put together and take advantage, then your life become. But if you don't, then you are considered killing your own soul. Understand? Killing your own. Alright, I'm sorry I overshot, I crossed over the time limit. Alright, any questions or comments on these points? Huh? The swan one, huh? Oh, you remember the swan, huh? Alright, I'll show you the swan verse. Always you show the two birds sitting on this forest. Very interesting point here. This verse is very important actually. My dear general friend, both you and I are exactly like two swans. We live together in the same heart, which is like the Manasa lake. Although we have been living together for many thousands of years, we are still far away from our original home. Is it? See how this is put together. Always you hear we have two birds eating, one is eating the fruit and the other one is watching this one. But here Krishna is explaining. Krishna came as super soul, as a Brahmana, talking to Malaya Dwaji's, what's her name? Vidarbhi. So he says, we are like two swans, together in the same heart, just like the Manasa lake. Although we have been living together for many thousands of years, we are still far away from our original home. So all these points are very significant actually. Of course, I don't know who's going to give the class on that, but you can cover this. You follow? So we are like that for thousands and thousands of years. We are far away from our original home. So, okay, anything else to add? Any questions? Alright, no questions, we stop here then. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki